Okay. Who has announcements up there? One thing I would like to recognize is that Rick Hubbard is here today, and he is going to be, this is our last meeting soon, but he will be retiring from the Cape Charles Rotary, and he just wanted to say he appreciated you. Thank you for being here, happy you're here today, and do you have any words you'd like to say as you move to your next chapter? Speak. Surprise, surprise.
We'll be in there here for a while yet. Oh. You know, we're from the Penny Chair Community in Williamsburg. And this other, we've got how to use Cape Charles, we're going to do D5. So, yeah, you know, it's been a good experience for sure. We look forward to seeing you later on.
All right.
Stephen,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Thank you. Okay, announcements, anyone have any announcements? Joe?
yes, I'm looking for the email from Mark
About the Impact Center?
Mark Esprey is not going to be able to be here. I'm sorry. Mark Esprey is not going to be able to be here today. He's on one of the committees or boards for the Impact Center. And on Monday, they're having a grand opening. I guess it's such by invitation only. He is asking for Rotarians who might be able to help with parking during the day. I don't have the hours because I was looking up the email. Do you have it with you?
Yeah, I have it over here.
Okay. There's looking like for an hour and a half tour for people from Rotary to help with parking at the Impact Center. For those of you who haven't made the connection, the Impact Center is the old Rosamore School. Okay, it's on the road between the Hump and Cassatt Parkway on the way to Bay Creek. And so he's looking for Rotarian volunteers to work an hour and a half. What time do they start?
It's time to start 9:30 to 11.
9:30 to 11, 11 to 12:30, and 12:30 to 2 o'clock. And if anyone is willing and able to volunteer, please either contact Mark, or if you can't figure out how to get in touch with him, let me know, and I will let him know. If you can do that, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Any other announcements? Hands up. Just getting the year started. All right. Okay. Now, do we have an happy dollar? Okay. What do people have? Cards? No. Anyone have any happy dollars? Do they want to say welcome to the new year or anything?
Wow.
It's a quiet day. Okay. All right.
$5. Happy New Year.
Very good from Libby. Happy New Year.
How much?
$5. Okay.
Cheryl.
I would like to donate 10 happy dollars and hope that somebody in our group knows of a litter of little black lab puppies that are going to be born soon. My daughter just lost her 15-year-old lab, and she is heartbroken, so if anybody knows of a litter, I would love to share it. It will have a wonderful home.
Good for you.
All right. Any other happy dollars for 2026? All right. And so now we have Queen of Hearts. Now we'll look for cards. What cards do we have? Those that have them.
What other names?
We got, what is it, King of Spades. We got King of Clubs. King of Clubs, King of Spades.
Jack of Hearts over
Queen and Jack of Hearts. Which one is this top? Queen? Queen? King. No, King of Clubs. King of Spades. Who has King? Spades.
Who's on first?
Chuck has King of Clubs. Spades. So, is King of Spades top? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Hey,
Okay.
I'll tell you what's up.
All right. So King of Spades and okay.
Yeah.
Twice in a row, Scott.
Yeah.
Sit over there. And fight for the committee.
All right.
All right, it really helped that I threw all those daisies out.
I have pre-shuffle, or you can do what you want. I pre-shuffle, you put in here, so jump in. Move around. Okay, seven blurry documents, it's almost selected, so we still have the, clear party. Oh, the money, Ken has the money, Nancy, break it up. Hey, Ken. Oh, who's going?
Let her do it. Who's on first?
Oh, sorry about that.
Thank you.
So what's the amount then?
We got a total of $24, and so up to six.
$6 in the original. All right, $24, $6 to Chuck, and other $6 in the pot, and then $12 goes to Rose. Okay, and this one gets cornered. Okay, so there's another chance of quicker person coming up. All right. Any other announcements or anything you want to mention? If not, we will introduce our speaker, Rick Terlogrian.
The most beautiful clothes made.
Beautiful. Welcome, and will introduce and tell us about his history, and welcome.
All right. Well, this is a great honor. First, I just want to thank this group. It's been a great opportunity to get plugged in with you guys, and thank you, Dora, for initiating this to me. She was the only one inviting me to come to meetings, and so I appreciate her and all what she's done. What a great legacy that she's given to this town. So I guess I'll formally introduce myself to those who don't know. I'm the new town manager for Cape Charles, and I came from Georgetown, Colorado, and Brush, Colorado before that. That's where I kind of cut my teeth in town management in those two communities. And then I ran a nonprofit in Augusta, Georgia for 12 years, working alongside of the county of Augusta, Richmond County in Augusta. Large, about 500,000 people in the metropolitan area of Augusta. And I was on the Planning Commission for years, and then I was on the Downtown Development Authority, and I was the chairman for many years. So economic development, planning, that's kind of like my background. That's what I did. So what I thought would be a little bit interesting is, we can all come up here and share our successes of what we've accomplished, but I really don't care. I don't care about my accomplishments. What I do care about is what inspired me for my success. And it's the principles that I've gleaned along the way that I'm going to share with you. And so these are timeless truths that still speak to me today. And so as I've thought through this, I want to share some of these principles that have guided me to great success. And when I mean success, I mean it's changed me internally. It's made me a better person. And it's helped to change communities. And so I'm done with money. I'm done with fame. I'm done with trying to make Rick Kirkland a name. I don't care about that stuff anymore. What I do care about is legacies. I'm at that stage in my life I'm going, I don't have, I'm 53, so I know I sound young to you, but I'm not guaranteed another day, right? None of us are. So how do we live our lives right now? That's what matters to me, is I want to hear one day that good and faithful servant. And that's what drives me. So I want to share some of these things that have impacted. This is in no order, by the way. I'm just going to share it and reflect why, what was going on. So the first one that comes to my mind is, it's a funny principle, and I'll say it and then I'll unpack it. If you want me to take you seriously, then you need to take you seriously. Okay, I had a dream one day, and I was mad at one of my coworkers. He was a slacker, didn't care, looked unprofessional all the time, and I was yelling at him in a dream. if you want people to take you seriously, then you need to take you seriously. That'll change your life. And I woke up going, where did I hear that? I heard it somewhere, right? And it stuck in my subconscious. But since I quoted it, it's me. I coined that because somewhere in my soul that matters. But it made me go have that conversation with him and straighten up his opportunity to become a better person. But it applies in everything that I do. If I want you to take my position seriously in the town, then I need to take my position seriously in the town. If I want people to love Cape Charles and take it seriously, then I need to love it and take it seriously. See what I'm saying? It applies in everything that if I want my planning department, if I want my wife to be taken seriously, then I need to take her seriously. It just applies in every part of my life. So it's been a building block of how I see things. Another one is when people ask me, what are your, I laugh a lot of times, what's your vision? What is your mission? And it's like, I don't have one. Because I have spent 12 years learning about community development, and then what you don't know is that's not where you start. Who cares about what I want? That's not really. A good leader isn't about trying to force my ideas upon you. A good leader says, what's going on here? I need to figure out how do I partner with people who are doing great work and move that mission forward. So a principle that I've come out of mine is par. You've heard me. Some of you may have heard me say par, like in golf. It's the bare minimum to get to the hole. It's the par. So they usually tell you how long it should take you. It should take you 3 strokes to get there. Well, some of these are hard pars that it may take you 5 strokes. But the minimum that gives you a guidance saying, we should get you 3. I have 3 in my leadership of what drives me as a leader. And one is professionalism. Professionalism in how I think, how I act, how I speak, how I dress. I know some people here made fun of me wearing jackets. I don't care what you think. It's me. I take it seriously. I take it seriously that professionalism is important. But it's also how I drive my staff. Professional is what we're going to be labeled by, is we have a new standard here. The other one is accountability. Accountability says, I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. I hold that, and I expect you to hold me accountable. But I also hold my staff accountable. It's really important. And the last one is respect. How can I lead if I disrespect in my communication or my other staff? How can I lead if they're doing that? So to me, it's the cement that everything is molded by. It's that mutual respect that you have my back and I have your back. I'm never going to speak, unkindly in public about you. We're going to have each other's back. There's confidence that comes out of that. Or when someone walks in, I know my staff are going to treat you with the utmost respect because it's a value that we've embraced. But that's mine, right? I set the standard. Some other things that drive me and success is I have a long time ago I was in college ministry. That's kind of where I started off in life. I got involved in a college ministry when I was in college and became a Christian, and my whole life changed. I wasn't raised Christian growing up. I went to Catholic school, but some Catholic kids like me were really bad kids. I got in trouble a whole lot. I learned that I was always doing something wrong. But one thing that I did learn was the heritage and the people who walk with faith, people who are available, people who are teachable. That's amazing. When you're around people, I look for fat people, faithful, available, teachable. People that it's not so much skills, because skills can be trained, but these are character qualities. If I can build a team around those people, man, we can do anything. Nothing can stop us. So I became focused on that is who I want to be. I want to be faithful. So when I'm in a meeting, I'm concentrated. I put my phone down. I listen to you. That means a lot when someone's speaking. Doesn't it show disrespect when you're like, oh, okay. It's disrespectful. So faithful, available, I show up. I'm fully and faithfully present. When you come to a meeting, I want to be engaged. I think that's what we seek to do. But teachable is, I don't have all the answers. What's your thoughts? it creates me to be engaging with other people. You have something to teach me. I mean, can I be a person that really values what you say? When I walk away, can you feel a difference? Well, that's what I desire, because I know some of you are like that. I'm amazed by listening to your stories of how you become because you've learned to empower people. And that's a powerful leadership quality. Can you empower somebody? Can you make them feel special instead of about you being special? So that's one. Another one is when I ran a nonprofit, one of the things that I learned early on with elected officials, with influencers, I learned a secret in college ministry when I did this. So I was a campus director on a college campus, and I did ministry with football players, basketball players, baseball team, the dorms, and like, how do you become experts in those such radically different fields? Well, you learn to find the influencers, and that's what I did. I would be in a room and I would just observe, and I would find the people who everyone is gathered around. Like when you tell a joke and it hits you, and they're looking around looking for the affirmation. Where are they looking? That's the person I want to talk to. Because I learned if I can win that person, I can win the whole group. And so it's very strategic. So then I went on to medical device sales, and they teach you all these strategic ways to sell a product, and I thought it was ridiculous. I went through all the training. You had to light a match. You had to say 26 features and benefits of the program. Sorry. And I did whatever they told me, but then when it came to actually selling, I didn't do any of that stuff. Because I put myself into people's shoes. I'm like, I don't care about your product. I formed relationships with people, found the influencers, and I became the #1 sales rep in the country. And people were floored. They're like, how do you do this? Well, it's because I'm focused on people. I'm selling a product of myself. And I want to be the best person possible. I want to be your key person. That you need something, you intrinsically come to me, and I find a way to solve it. And so I began teaching national sales training. And I would always start out, I'm going to teach you how to sell according to a college ministry. You know, like to a football player, I learned to become like a football player. To a baseball player, I've come to learn to be like a baseball player. And the ways that I would do that is I would seek to try to understand everything that they were going through. If there's guys on the basketball team shooting, I'd be the guy grabbing the shot or grabbing the rebounds and pitching it back to the guys. I was serving constantly, and then everyone's like, "Who are you? Like, why are you here? Where did you come from?" And it was like, "No, I'm not going to talk about me. I want to learn about you." And before long, you're accepted because I have spent so much time trying to understand them and make them better. And then naturally, they're like, man, I want you to be everywhere I go. So I got an opportunity to build them up with the coaches. You come along and coach, and then he sees that you're with them. I'm now his right. My job is to make the coach look good. So he knows that whatever he gave me, I'm part of the team now. So I did that for 7 years, and then launched into medical device sales, applying the same principles. And quickly, within half a year, I was the top guy. And they're like, "How? How are you doing this?" It's like, I have to teach you, but you have to throw away everything that you've been learning. And I called it a star rep. The way they taught you was, you go into a community, and they want you to see 10 doctors a day to get 2 minutes in front of them, and then the next day you're going to be in another city trying to see 10 doctors a day to get 2 minutes in front of the doctor. So you're spread out a mile wide and an inch deep. So I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I decided to concentrate all my time for a whole month in one city and see 4 doctors a day. 4 doctors where I would try to spend an hour or 2 at their practice. And my goal was to see everybody in there but the doctor. I want the doctor to go, who's that guy? He's taking interest in all my staff. And I would go talk to everyone to the point where now they're working for me. When I'm out of sight, I'm still in mind because they're thinking of me. So I did that, all it takes is a few months, and my sales went ballistic. It's because I took interest in the people. Well, that led to, when you win over the influencers, the surgery scheduler. He went over that one, because that's the one that everyone's depending on, because that's the person who orders the products. Well, then I figured it out. It's the same concept on the baseball team and the fraternity. I learned it all. I join people, and then I get involved, and I'm part of the change. Find out what's working, join it, and then watch it become better, because now I'm there. I never had an agenda. I was interviewed all the time in the news in Augusta, Georgia, and frequently they're like, we want to hear a story. What's going on? Because there's some exciting, but we need to share it. And so I'd always do it this way. I moved into a really bad area, and I focused on a nonprofit community development of bringing back distressed communities. So I went to the worst community in Augusta. We bought a house in there, and then people thought we were nuts. Because I'm surrounded by crime, drug dealing, prostitution, gangbangers shooting up homes. I lived right in the middle of that. And I began to build relationships with the community, find the influencers, find out what their agendas are, how do they want their community to look, and all I would do was do what they wanted. And then I would go back to the news and say, let me tell you what's going on. Did you know that Miss Smith has this vision, and she's got an idea, and I'm inviting the whole community to come join us as we make this thing better. And then people would show up, and we would do whatever they told they were wanting to do, and then we do a block party to celebrate. And it was like the momentum. It was like a snowball. Now what? What do we do next? And it just kept going from project to project to the point now we are focused on dealing with injustice, stuff that's been hindering and causing all of the problems. And so it was exciting to be able to say, we did it. It wasn't me. It was we. We did it together collectively. So that was, I became a voice to the people. And I think, I'm a community organizer. You hear Barack Obama was a community organizer. I became a community organizer. I began to learn to listen to the least of these. I began to take their ideas and become a mouthpiece for those ideas, get resources, bring it back, and watch the area change. And then they get the credit. All I was just a middle person to connect the dots. And then watch people who never thought of themselves as a leader become leaders. Another thing that I've learned is attempt great things. And in my college ministry, it went a little bit different. The saying was, attempt something so great that it's doomed to fail unless God be in this. Now that's what we call walking by faith. Am I really going to see things happen? Then do something big. That it is not going to happen unless God's in this. So it drives me to think about greatness, excellence, of let's think about how we can really make this place better. So that's what drives me when I think about Cape Charles and I think about the beauty of the fabric that's already here and how do we make it better. Take a shot. You lose 100% of the shots that you never take. You never know. Just take the shot. People, I can't do it. You don't know if you can't do it. You have not because you asked not. But what if you ask? What if you just ask and see what can come out of this? And that's really my philosophy. Don't assume the no. All you can do is say yes. Yes, in my sales background, yes, it drives me because you know what? If I don't do it, someone else is going to ask. Why not? Every one of us are in sales. Do you believe in yourself? Do you believe in your product? And maybe your product is just, you're a babysitter. You're a lawyer. You have a product that somebody needs. Ask. You never know. You may make that shot. Another one was tell your story. So when I was in community development, I remember I was asked to be a speaker at a neighborhood association that was in a really bad area. And so I said, yes, I'll teach you the model that we've done to change this one. The worst area became one of the better areas. And I began to teach this all throughout the county of how to bring back distressed neighborhoods. But anyways, at this one meeting, I listened and all they did was gripe and complain about how bad it was. And I, after a while, I just raised my hand and said, I can't take this. What you don't know is this is like going to a restaurant in your neighborhood and complaining about how crappy your restaurant is. And you're wondering why people don't come to your crappy restaurant. You know, but if you spin it in a different direction, if you use the power of positivity to talk about this, hole in the wall of how unique it is in the history of the owner that started it and the wood or the materials that were made from this, tell the story, and you have this unique dish that nobody else does, or there's something unique about this. I guarantee you people would be lined up because of the uniqueness and how wonderful you present this to people. Don't let others tell your story. You tell it and be in charge of what this is. You want this to grow? Well, then speak into that. If you speak it, don't be surprised if you don't live it and believe it. But I think part of it is that take the first step. That this can be much better if you believe it will be better and not let go of it. Grab hold of it. And I think that was some skills that I had learned from that negative conversation of like, wow, if you could just see it from a different angle, it'll change your life. I would say a couple other things that I have found success in is, this may sound silly, but you may be able to count the seeds in an apple, but you will never be able to count the apples in the seed. And that drives me to think about the potential of just doing something. Don't be limited by what you see. Think about the depth of what it can become. And usually it's an inspirational of getting people together and dreaming. So that's why I like to do strategic planning. Strategic planning is you cannot do everything. But if we can come together and finalize and prioritize the things that we do together, then I guarantee we can move this to movable principles that will guide us. So, for example, if there's 10 things on a wall, and everybody gets a sticker, 2 or 3 stickers, and you're like, put it on the 3 things that matter the most to you, and get everyone a chance to do it. It'll be very interesting of seeing how that plays out. There'll be 2 or 3 that ends up being the majority. It always happens. Something out of the 10, you'll finalize and see something that you collectively can agree upon. And then you act on that. Because the will of the people has spoken. We can't do it all, but we can do those 3 things that we did. And then that becomes my strategic plan to move forward with these priorities. So that's how we do it in the town. And our town's really great because we get the community involved in that too. So it's not just what the council wants, it's really our community strategic plan that we've all embraced it. But we got to narrow it down because we can't do everything. But we can do something that we agree upon, or the majority agree upon. Be strategic in who you spend your time with. If you win over the influencer, like I said, you can win the whole group. If you can find the people that really care, which it's kind of interesting. I'm talking to the choir people who are involved in everything in Cape Charles. I look around and it's like, yeah, I've seen you in multiple meetings and how you care for this community. But be an influencer. Look for the influencer. And then you're really unstoppable because that's what takes momentum. In change, when you want something to change, you always have the extremes. You have those who are, I'll take the hill. They're usually the small 3%. Then you have the other 3% that no matter what you say, they will always reject it. And then you have the mass middle. Those groups can be kind of divided in 2. It's the herd. They really need to be pushed. And if those were pushed, then the other herd will follow. But they kind of sway between the yays and the nays. And so I've learned to not listen to the nays. It'll drive you crazy. They're never going to change. Why waste your time? I focus on, my philosophy is I find the influencer. Because if I can lead them, the herd will follow. And that's how we can get things done. It may not be the way I want it, but it will be what the community wants. And then that's really good because then the community gets the win. They get the credit, and then we all can say, I had a part to play in this. Another thing is, yes, there was a time that I wanted to be a superstar. In medical device sales, I got that opportunity. I got tons of recognition when I ran a nonprofit. I was in the news all the time. And it was great. However, what I've learned in my life, is even being a father, is it is remarkable when you see your kids copy you. It's fascinating. I realized The scariest moment is when my kid was born, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to be responsible now. Like it was like glass, and I was so afraid to even put my daughter in the car carrier because I was like, what if she dies? I'm gonna drop her. I didn't know what to do. But watching her listen and me trying to train her up has been the greatest joy that I had as being a dad. And I think that's what I would say is a sign of maturity when you stop thinking for yourself. That I've learned it's not about being a superstar anymore. It's about making superstars. I really want my staff to be the best they can. And you know what? Some of you may not like my staff, and that's okay. But I really believe that they can become better. And that's why we do the community survey. For those who have not heard of it, take the survey. We've extended it one more week. I want to hear from you. If you've got thoughts, we want to be the best we can to serve our community. You may have ideas that we're not thinking about, but this is an opportunity for us to listen. And then we take that to council and we begin to appropriate some of these ideas. But it kind of starts from the whole idea. I went from wanting to be a superstar to then making superstars. And this is my last one. Whomever or whatever you love will motivate you. You become what you think about. Your character is influenced by your conduct. And I think that's been another driving point. What's motivating you? And I would say for me, it's my relationship with God. I can't divorce that, even as a town manager. I have a higher person I'm accountable to, and he's real, and he's actively working in my life. And I look always to find out where he's working. I want to join him in that. So I take my faith seriously. What's driving you? Let that motivate you. If it's not God, something in your life should be motivating you. Maybe it's your spouse. Maybe it's your career, but something should motivate you that's greater than just your search for significance. We all long for those things. But what drives me is much greater because I'm saying there will come a time where I have to stand and be account of why I did these things. And I don't want to be afraid or ashamed. That's all I have. Any questions? Yes.
Ladies first.
Can we hire you?
Thank you for
For free. I have to pay to get motivated like that.
I was thinking that you should do classes with all your free time.
Yeah. Bill.
Give us a little more on your family. You've alluded to them, but I'd like to know
Yeah.
more about your wife,
Thank you.
your children.
So I am married 27 years to my college sweetheart. Name is Melissa, or she goes by Mel, and she is the Associate Executive Director for the YMCA. I think some of y'all may have known Andre. Andre took the promotion. I think he's in Maryland.
Yeah.
And they hired an executive director to oversee 2 facilities, and the goal is to separate them and become their own. And since my wife has never been with the Y, she's in training to take over that facility here at the one in Pitt Charles. And I have 2 kids. My daughter, Riley, she just graduated from the University of Georgia, finally. And she's an art consultant, so she's a great artist, but she works for an art firm who works with hotels, hospitals, and businesses to do the art themes in their building. And then my son is here with us. He was at Colorado State University, but now he's at the community college here. What is that called? Eastern Shore. So he's there and trying to figure out what he wants to do for the rest of his life.
Did your wife take your last name?
She did.
It's a beautiful last name.
It's Karogan. It's Armenian, so it means son of the blind man near the Black Sea.
How do you say it?
Yeah, that motivates you.
Yeah.
Slowly.
Karogan.
Karoglian.
It's actually, I'm named after a king in Armenia.
Oh, yeah.
King Karogan. So, and my name, literally, it's Dikron. That's my Armenian name, my licensed name. And it means king. Richard is another transliteration, and that's where I get Rick from. So it's, I don't want you to call me king. Rick is fine. Yeah.
I liked everything you said, but one thing that really stood out was when you were giving the example of hanging 10 items up on the wall of things we could do,
Yeah.
and basically asking for a survey to crowd people by putting your sticker on the top 3 and selecting that way. One of the things with surveying is you get something in the mail, it has like 10 things on there and you're to grade them, but you don't hear anybody else's ideas of why they selected what they selected.
Yeah.
I like your idea of all of you being there
Yeah.
and discussing the whole thing and talking across the table with other people. And it's not just you filling out a single survey and not knowing what all the other people are thinking.
There's power when you're in a room and watching this unfold, but there's also dilemma because you don't want someone to have group think either. You know, you can easily sway, oh, I like that, and then you're all swayed. So there's value in saying your independence, actually, we want to hear that.
Yeah.
And so that's why we do a survey, because we want to stay independent. But then we will actually do the whole, you know, we take a room and on the wall you got your big ideas, and then we do that here. I've done it everywhere I've gone to.
If you all respect each other, everybody feels safe.
Right. Well, that's true. But you lead that way, they will follow. But if you're in there and you're yelling and you're you know, you can tell when someone walks in the tension that they bring in. I try to diffuse that by being, if you go to a council meeting, you should go, the thing that I value is I go in, I try to introduce myself to everyone that sits there. I want them to feel welcomed and loved, that they took their time to come out there, and it immediately there's ease. It just disseminates that tension, and that's what we want. We want you to speak freely, but respectfully at the same time. Yes.
I just want to say, I was in a meeting one day and it got very heated. And he just, I don't know where it came from, he just jumped right in and diffused it in a second. And I went, wow, that's cool. That's cool.
Yes. Thank you.
Are we gonna get the result of the survey?
We should. We've seen it one more week, and we're my staff are trying to disseminate that information. But
You're gonna publish it?
yeah, we will publish it. You'll get we'll put it online so that everyone can see it. Yes,
Who wrote that entire survey?
I did.
Yeah, good, because it was totally different. It was
Yeah,
very
I
different.
kind of. I
And
went
you
back
still
to-
live in town.
I like it, yeah, I
Well,
thought about it.
I've heard some people who hate it and they told me they should trash it. It's fine. It's fine. But I wanted to make it different because it should reflect our goals that we made. You know, we had goals, and the previous survey only reflected a few of those goals. I
They
thought
weren't
that,
our goals necessarily. That was the problem.
Where do you get the survey?
online, if you go into capeturtles.org, at the very top it's in red, community survey, click that, and it'll take you right to the link. Or we have a hard copy you can fill out, come to the office. Take about a few minutes. Yes.
Too late for suggestions?
Absolutely not.
What did you
If
say?
you have you're talking about for the community survey stuff? In what context? Suggestions?
Sidewalks.
Yes, I mean, if you have some suggestions, we would love to hear from you. Not here, but you can come to the office or write them down, and I'd love to hear them. Yes. Great. Well,
Thank you.
good.
Very impressive and impactful and motivational. And thank you very much for presenting and being a member here of Rotary. And
Sounds like a
so,
Rotary presidential material.
sounds good, Rotary presidential material, okay? Well, he will be our new treasurer starting in July. So, working his way up.
No.
No? No. Oh! Sorry. Sorry about that. Oops. Oops, major oops. Well, thank you. Well, potential, future officer, how's that? Excellent.
And we never fire anyone. We don't make any now.
I'm making a couple meetings.
Never.
At the meeting when you were out, right? And you were just voted in, what, last week? Well, surprise! Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you very much for the presentation. Do we have any other announcements or comments?
I don't have an announcement, but I would like to go back to Happy Dollars, okay? I didn't have a real happy thing going when I arrived this morning. However, I'm happy to be a Rotarian, and particularly this club, because we're surrounded by so many great people. And for 2 weeks in a row now, we have had examples of just people who are thought leaders, who are willing to get beyond themselves. And I'd like to be happy to the tune of $5 a piece for Mike, for his presentation last week, and for Rick sharing your thoughts with us this week. So if you would allow me that, I'd appreciate it.
And back in, it had been bubbling around in my mind, and I wanted to say thank you to everyone here, and I will add on to that $50. I will add $30.
Whoa!
For the entirety of the Rotary, for my recent passing of my aunt, and I have received from so many people, so many condolences, and if there's anything I can do. And this is a true group that I am so proud to be part of. And Rick brought out a lot of emotions today. Thank y'all for being who you are. Thank you for being here. This is what Cape Charles and Eastern Shore is all about. Thank y'all, and I can't say it enough. Okay? I hope Rick can be separated from this in the future. I'll learn them better myself. Okay, do you have any other announcements or anything? Okay, we stand and say before we. Is it the truth? Is it all?
Will it build friendships? Will it be beneficial to all? And so we have fun.
Okay, the meeting is now adjourned.